Happy Monday, folks. I just want to make another video because why not? So much going on in the market with investing and all sorts of cool things happening on the YouTube investment world. I just made my third subscription, and that's with Strongman Personal Finance. This dude's pretty hysterical, and I love this channel because the host calls out everybody. And I've always been very conservative and very skittish on betting on some of these stocks that these guys pump. But this guy at least has the balls to call them out, and it's absolutely hysterical. I do think a channel like this, or even this channel, is going to blow up because there has to be a reaction from all the crap being spewed by Meet Kevin or Jeremy LaFufu. So kind of what's going on is that as these internet gurus are being called out, now they're sort of backtracking. And most recently was this Peloton thing, and all those guys are pumping this Peloton, and now they're saying things like, oh no, I sold it, or no, I wasn't pumping it, or oh, I saw it all along that this was going to be over. It sort of has to do, of course, with the pandemic, kind of the stay-at-home play coming to an end here. But what actually happened is that Peloton really just didn't have a financial foundation to stand on. I don't even know if it ever made money. Rising revenues, which are now petering out, no profit, and an overpriced stock. And there you have it. You have this company that was worth $50 billion plus that got up to a revenue of $4 billion. But then you look at it and here it peaks out and comes down. And I mean, how are these guys going to make money? They never really did make a lot of money. I think they eked out a little bit of a profit. I don't know if they ever made real money for annual basis. But that share price is just way overpriced. Even now, it's probably pretty expensive. Don't think there's going to be too many fans of Peloton. And this is the whole domino begins to fall thing. You just don't have any interested buyers because there's nothing moving the stock going forward except for the downside. So for the most part, people are going to be moving out of stocks like this and into something that actually makes money or has a future. And in some cases, it's going to be more stupid growth stocks. I see this all the time with Cathie Wood, and I would just say that she's another person or fund that just make their whole name on one stock, and you all know what it is. Yeah, Tesla is, above $1 trillion in market value, and I don't know, it could probably be worth $2 trillion. I wouldn't pay for that. You got to keep in mind that Tesla only has about $55 billion in assets as of their last quarterly report. So you have $55 billion assets with over a $1 trillion market cap. And this is the old Berkshire balance sheet from last year, but these total assets right now have gone from $873 billion to over $1 trillion, or just about $1 trillion in assets. So it's kind of the opposite of Tesla, because Tesla is worth double this company with only about 1/20th of the assets. Just kind of a weird thing. I'm sure it's possible that that little asset base could potentially make profit, or so much profit that it's worth more than Berkshire. That's just the craziness of this market. Even yesterday, it was announced that Berkshire had nearly $150 billion in cash. Their cash position is about 3 times the assets that all of Tesla has. Yet, look at the share price. It goes up 0.45%, and it's only about a $600 billion company. Okay, if you say so. And just a note on cash. Everybody, especially people like Chicken Genius and all these other yahoos, and a lot of people on the internet and YouTube saying cash is trash. Well, I'm going to tell you something about cash. Cash is trash until you don't have any. And sitting on that $150 billion of cash, I hope Warren is around forever so we can laugh when a real dip does come. And thank goodness for a guy like Strongman for calling out all the chodes about saying that they study Warren Buffett, yet they buy crap like Lemonade stock. So I'm looking forward to the day, and we'll see Lemonade, which has somehow gotten to my YouTube feed with all these YouTubers pumping this trash. It reports today after the bell, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, this is the classic, I want to buy a put against this company. So every time revenue goes up, they even lose more money. That's pretty bad. They might as well just close shop and save their money. Quarterly revenues sort of going up very slowly. Maybe one day, you never know. But $28 million, or $100 million for the year, basically, for a $4 billion company. The other day, this is like, a $3-something billion company, and now it's up at $4 billion, but the stock hasn't risen too much. And I was thinking, well, the only way this is happening if they're diluting the crap out of their shareholders. And checking the shares outstanding, of course, I was right. There they are, 56. And then this is when they did that big raise, and Daniel Schreiber lined his pockets with all your guys' money. It's so funny. Look at the share count, just keeps going up and up and up. I can actually appreciate CNBC because they do give this jackhole a hard time. Him and Shai Wininger have just shilled the crap out of that stock and just got rich off all you truckers. I actually did buy puts against Virgin Galactic. I don't think they'll hit because they're due in January, I believe. January or March, I'm not sure. I'll actually have to look it up. I don't even know what I have. I bought puts against two companies, Virgin Galactic, because I think that Virgin Galactic is just the biggest hobby of all time. No revenue, no real business model, and almost no point. I don't even understand anymore what the point of paying $250,000 for someone to go up in a dangerous aircraft, and I don't know, what do they get, 4 minutes of airtime or of float time? I just don't get it. I also bought a bunch of puts against Lilium because I think that air taxis and air mobility are just a no-go. This is worse than Amazon drone delivery. This thing's never going to take off. It's absolutely taken forever to get this thing off the ground. I mean, it's been 8 years or 9 years since they said I was going to get my packages via drone delivery. DJI comes out with these awesome quadcopter drones. I love them. I have a couple myself. And then the whole world thinks, oh, this is the future of air mobility. We're going to be transporting humans and packages to your house with these things. I'd say very unlikely. But I gotta admit, watching this Mavic 3 commercial, I kind of want one. Now I can admit that I'm kind of hanging out at the truck stop with one of my stocks. Viola Rules had talked about MAXR. I think he owns it. I looked at this company. I actually like the numbers. Look at this advertisement. It's kind of like Palantir, but with some little more substance, I think. You actually can figure out what these guys do. Basically, these guys are putting up imaging satellites that will probably be used by the government to, I don't know, spy on people or check everything we do from space. When that whole Kabul airport thing went down, a lot of the satellite imagery that I saw in the press was actually MAXR imagery. So I thought it was pretty cool. This is something I would want if I was a government, aka the United States. And these pictures were in real time. You see all these evacuees, and man, this is pretty good. And you know they're not showing us what this stuff is really capable of. MAXR's currently in the truck stop. I want to say I bought this at $40, so I'm down a quarter at least. And we have a $2 billion company here. You look at these quarterly revenues, 400, 300, 400, or close to $500 million with some earnings. I think that when these quarters peel off and it shows a profit, that this stock will come back. I don't think you're paying a lot for what you get. You get all the satellites, you do get earnings, consistent government revenue, and they also have a new satellite system that's going to be coming on board in 2022. It's supposed to be on board in 2021, but you get those 6 satellites up there that the government wants to use. I would say also that MAXR has the potential to be bought out at such a low cost. I mean, $2 billion. You get a whole satellite imaging company. That's pretty cool. Just to think that Lemonade is worth double MAXR, even though MAXR has about 20 times the revenue of Lemonade. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, and something called profit. Of Lemonade, I mean, I hand it to them. They got the big raise off the backs of all these sucker investors, so they have $600 million that they can burn through. They're burning through about $200 million a year. That gives them about 3 years of cash, so maybe they can turn a profit. They're going to have to, or they're going to go bankrupt. I think for now I'm going to buy Berk B. And I only say that because I already have some in multiple spots, and I don't like mutual funds, so I always tell people, if you want to buy a mutual fund, buy Berkshire Hathaway. You have great managers there in Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, and those guys definitely know what they're doing. I'd say they know what they're doing more than most fund managers. For all those people who say these guys lag the market, I don't know, really even know how true that is. And keep in mind that, what do you get for your dollar? Right here, you have Berk B with tons of assets and tons of cash, unlike these other companies like Tesla. And so when you think about buying a company and getting most bang for your buck, this would be a company that you're getting a lot. And there is a person who agrees with me. You guessed him. Warren Buffett. He just bought another $7.6 billion of his own stock because he can't find any other companies that are really worth buying. So why not buy a company that has a lot of assets and a ton of cash? Anyway, if you want to see bad stocks and people make fun of them, go over to Strongman Personal Finance and enjoy those videos. We'll talk to you later.